Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Sunspot podcast. This is your host Pamela Itok.
I am Miriam Thuo, and finally I cannot believe this is our fourth episode of the Sunspot podcast.
Yes.
How is your feel?
I'm feeling so excited about this episode. Today is not like any other episode that we've been having. Today we have a special guest joining us. I would love to introduce him, but I'm going to let him do the introduction to tell us who he is and what he does, his contribution to the green energy space.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Casimir Rutere, a sustainability advocate. I'm also an environmentalist, and I advocate for the green agenda and sustainability of our environment. Thank you for having me.
You're very much welcome, Casimir. It's amazing that you are our first guest officially, keeping in mind we are still on the trends. How does it feel being our first guest before we dive into the topic at hand?
If I was asked, I would throw a party for this, but I think I'm excited to be here, and I look forward to having a conversation with you to be able to talk about the green energy, green agenda, and anything that is concerning sustainability.
Wonderful. As you have mentioned, Casimir, today our topic is going to be around the green energy. We're going to be discussing the green energy as a whole and also what part solar plays in the green energy space. We're also going to be looking into the government's contribution into clean energy adoption, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, so before we proceed, how has your week been? Tell us.
I've had a very busy week looking into it, that there are so many things we need to do. And especially for us who are in the environmental space, there's a lot to maybe look into in terms of report, research, people to meet, and even businesses to create and look into. So I would say quite a busy week, exciting, but I look forward to many more days of the same. Yeah.
If I may ask, are you currently doing any projects that are pushing the clean energy agenda? Maybe you can speak of one or two.
Funny enough, I'm tied to a company known as Green Africa Group. I'm also tied to a political party that looks to the green agenda. So basically, we point out to the creation and elevation of policies that look into the green agenda, and especially on green energy, environmental conservation, and sustainability. So I would say I'm quite involved, even when it comes to information technology, whereby we are looking to close the gap between environmental conservation and the space in IT.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I feel it's a space that is not, most people don't take so much time to have conversation around it. And I'm glad that we have a platform whereby we can educate our viewers. We can also get educated every single day. As we all know, knowledge is power, right? So I think having this space to engage with our viewers, engage with you, share information here and there is very important. And I think we are on the right track. What you're doing is amazing. We definitely appreciate all that you're doing. We all advocate for the green energy aspects. Yeah.
And as we have mentioned, green energy is a wide field, right? Not only is it about like solar power, we also have wind, we have geothermal. It's a very wide field, and
Yeah.
I would like to know, what is your take on solar as part of the green energy space?
Solar would be categorized as one of the renewable energies. And when you look at natural or traditional ways in which energy has continued to be produced, solar comes in as an alternative with the aspect that it's cost effective, it is accessible to so many people, and unlike some of the energy sources like wind, solar is quite efficient because we are able to access solar in any other place. For example, I'll give you an example of Ngong Hills, where the wind turbines are. For Ngong Hills to provide wind energy, there has to be a specific measure or specific criteria that it has to reach. But for the sun, it's basically that sun is available. So if sun is available, then it is easy for production of the same energy through the sun. But when you look at alternative measures that produce energy, then solar comes at the top to be the most effective and in terms of reliability.
Yes, especially in Africa, I think we are blessed to have sun on a constant basis, like every day. As much as sometimes you get into like the cold season, it's very cloudy, we still have like sunshine at some point. Yeah, so I think that's also an advantage for Africa, right?
So I've been doing a little bit of research, or rather something that has been trending. As human beings, we are prone to change. We do not like change, be it in the workplace, be it anywhere, regardless. So I would like to get your view on in regards to the solar energy aspect in Kenya. What do you think some of the challenges that people are facing, or what some of the misconceptions that you feel people think about the green energy, and what do you even have to tell about that?
Funny enough, human beings are usually so rebellious, or they are not acceptable. They are not so accepting when it comes to change. So one thing we need to instill into everyone is that there is need to have change. There is need to adapt new ways of creating energy that is less polluting of the environment, energy that is also sufficient and efficient. Because one thing, when you look at traditional methods of energy production, they are all having disadvantage, and they are more than the merits. When we say that we are using fossil fuels, we are using oil or gas, most of those sources are very, very dangerous to our environment. Leave alone even health issues or health crises that are connected to them, especially for those who are involved in those industries. So solar comes out to bring a difference in terms of cost, one. Number two, people think solar is expensive, but I would say that solar could only be expensive when you're installing, but the rest of it could be very cost effective. Because one thing is, when rain comes, what happens in Kenya?
People buy umbrellas.
That's one. Second one, which is even common, is that tunanuliwa stima.
Yes.
You see, but for solar, it depends with how you use it. Secondly, when you come to storage, it is very easy to store solar into lithium and consumption according to how you're using it. But can you store electricity?
Yeah.
Oh, you cannot.
Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
The other thing is that people are not quite educated. People are not getting the right information. People are not accepting the change. You could use an example when electric vehicles came, even electric motorcycles. There's always fights in town that those who are using electric motorcycles are charging less compared to those who are using fuel. So you could see the cost effectiveness goes down up to those who are using other means, because the same motorcycles could be charged using wind and even solar.
Oh, really?
So solar is quite effective in so many ways that it can boil water, it can provide electricity, it can power so many big companies and corporate businesses, and even more than we can imagine.
Yeah.
So that's why I think solar comes on the top, and the rest follows.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You've mentioned cost, and you've mentioned when it comes to cost especially, we have so many people that definitely want to go solar, but most people do not understand that it's a long-term investment, right? At first, you might see the amount that you're using to procure the items and do the installation is very high. But if you take a sit down and do the calculation in terms of the long run, keeping in mind these products have warranty, you'll definitely rip off your capital investment, which is very important. And then secondly, you also mentioned about education, empowering people. I feel that is something that we are lacking generally, and it's something that we're supposed to embrace and educate people out there. Not everyone, we will know that yes, there is a solar panel, but they do not know exactly what watts they need to get, what capacity of battery they need to get. Should they get the lithium? Should they get the gel battery? So I think it's very important educating people, and I feel as the youth, we should have that platform whereby we have sessions where we're also educating people in regards to that. It's not just about what product you need to procure. It's also what advantages is coming alongside that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, you had mentioned something about technology. I think also something that a huge population is not aware of is the fact that solar energy or the solar sector has advanced in terms of its technology. Because a few years back, you would have a solar panel that could only work when it's fully bright,
Yes.
fully sunny
Sunny.
day.
Yeah.
Yes. But right now, as we speak, we have the monocrystalline solar panels.
Yeah.
Yes, these ones are able to work even on a cloudy day. As long as there's daylight, it will generate power, and you still have your electricity when everyone else has blackout.
Yeah.
So that's a huge advantage also on the solar sector in terms of how advanced the technology has gone, and it keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Just the other day I saw there's a building in China that has solar wind solar panels,
Interesting.
the whole building, so
Yeah.
they're able to generate all their electricity based on the window sills. Yes, so the technology keeps advancing, and it also begs the question, this for us, we are an individual company, right? We are trying to provide these solar solutions and making it accessible to more people.
Yeah.
But I would love to know, do you have like any insights if on how the government is helping in terms of sustainability or pushing the clean energy agenda?
I'll start by mentioning the Sustainable Development Goals, which are universal goals for achieving sustainability in the world. When you look at goal number 7, it looks to provide for clean energy, whereby affordable, reliable, and sufficient energy, including renewable energy, and solar being one of them. So globally, the SDGs are usually like trademark or something that sets the trend to be able to guide us into achieving some of the things that we want to achieve. So when you look at number 7, being clean energy, all countries under the United Nations have adapted and they're supposed to work towards it. When it comes to the African continent, there is a 2063 agenda that also looks into addressing issues of the African continent, and it is married to the SDGs. So you can see the global continental maybe leadership is adapted to that. I'll take you back to Africa Summit, Africa Climate Summit that we had in Kenya. You see that when people were coming in, there was a parade of electric vehicles, there was a parade of innovations that were wide from renewable energy, that is solar, wind, geothermal, and what have you. There were so many innovations at the Africa Climate Summit. So when you look at the aspect of the government, it is already guided on how to adapt some of these things. When we look into providing the right policies, the right incentives, that the government could allow renewable energy, it's because they already know that renewable energy is clean energy. So which is the way to go when you're looking at climate action or we are looking at climate justice? It is by adapting renewable energy. So government is providing exemptions in taxes, there is debates, there is incentives, and there is tariffs, whereby if you're bringing in anything to do with renewable energy, at some point you're exempted to taxes that would maybe bring the cost of green energy to a higher level. So the government is doing so much more, and there is also the increase in so many stations that adapt renewable energy. One is geothermal, as we all know. There is also the home hills, and even the engine that adapts some of that. So many more. So the government is doing so much to enhance renewable energy in Africa and Kenya as a continent. One thing to note is that Kenya is a leading country in Africa when it comes to adapting renewable energy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's wonderful news. We've been seeing so many electronic buses.
Yeah.
They're called electric buses, electric vehicles, even electric
Bikes.
motorbikes do
Yeah.
these. Yes, and even just this morning I used one. I actually prefer it than the traditional motorbike.
Why though?
Because for this one, it's more smooth. It doesn't have, you know, when you're on a motorbike,
Yeah.
and then there's that. Yeah, there's with the electronic one, it's more smooth. Yes, it doesn't have a lot of power, but it's smooth. It goes very well, and it's also cheap. Because when I was picking a ride, an Uber to town or a ride in a car, it was getting to about 400, but with the electric bike, around 150, 160. So you can tell, even compared to the traditional one that uses fuel,
Yeah.
that one goes to around 210 or something like that. So you can see also in terms of cost effectiveness, this one is cheaper, you have a better experience. So clean energy is actually making a very good difference. Personally, I'm enjoying it. I don't know, are you enjoying the electric buses? Have you had an experience with them?
I have with the buses.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bumpy as well.
Yeah.
I don't have much explanation to it rather, but I have definitely experienced the electric bus from town to work.
And they're also spacious.
Oh yes.
Yes.
And I don't know why were they so clean that the other.
They are so clean. Hey, compared to the
And I also
others.
realized in terms of their payment, it's mostly the e-wallet payment
Yes.
methods.
Yeah.
So it means like they're also embracing the digital aspect of payment. What about you, Casimir?
So I think I have a lot to say when it comes to electric bikes or electric vehicles. Autoparks is one of the companies in Kenya that is looking towards venturing into that market, whereby they have produced already two types of vehicles. One is a 200-kilometer vehicle. Once charged, it could go to Kitui when fully charged. It could also travel to Embu and maybe back to Maya because the distance is around the same. So one goes for 200 kilometers, the other for 300 kilometers. The electric bikes and vehicles are usually cheaper when it comes to mobility.
For
and
sure.
That's why Autoparks in their, maybe I would say, mission or vision, and their slogan is mobility for life. So where you ensure and you enhance sustainability and at the same time your mobility for life for everyone in the world globally. So even when you look at the prices, when it comes to picking a motorbike from maybe Bolt, Uber, or whatever online application, they're usually 50 shillings less, maybe 30. That could buy you something.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. In
definitely.
this economy, that is a lot of
Yeah, it
money.
is.
Exactly. And you look at the amount when you save that for a month.
Yeah.
It's something you could do. It could pay your Netflix.
That's
Yeah,
a lot
definitely.
of money. Yeah.
Yes.
That's actually my fare going back home. Going
Yeah.
to and from.
Sustainability is actually saving us a lot
Yeah.
more than we could imagine. The other aspect is that green jobs are being created.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I will use an example of your company, Power Oil, whereby there are engineers that look into the aspect of the green, maybe aspect of the power, the solar power.
Yeah.
There is also the drivers who are included. There is the data analyst, the business.
Even us. We are also
Yeah, that's why we're here.
beneficiaries of green. Yeah.
Even myself.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that comes in when we talk about sustainability, and especially renewable energy.
For sure.
I think before we jump into the game of the day, I would also like you to share what do you think us as Powerol we can do differently in terms of sustainability? What ideas do you think we can implement, not only us, because I believe we are a community, and if we work together, all of us, we will work further and take less time. So what do you think we can implement before we jump into the question of the day?
One is having innovation hubs. It is right for companies or corporate businesses to look into CSRs that look into advancing the green jobs and green training or green education, whereby you even go to universities or even high schools and you ensure that you provide necessary information or education to people in schools to be able to adapt careers that lead to green jobs. The reason I'm saying this is because the future is green
Green,
energy.
yeah.
Yes.
And when we fail to provide green energy as an alternative, we continue destroying our environment, polluting the environment, and moving away from sustainability. So we are killing the future instead of making a future that promises even those who will come and find out,
Yes, our
who will not find us,
generation, yeah.
and the next generation. So
Yeah.
one is innovation hubs. The other one is providing necessary education to even people in rural communities, because I think there is a lot of gap in terms of education or training to people to understand why they need to move to the green energy sector.
Yeah.
So that is what I'd share and recommend, that we also push the government and let us have more young people get involved in environmental conservation and more so adapt to green energy.
That's purely knowledge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think, Pamela, what's the game for today?
Yes, I think just to keep the conversation going,
Yeah.
we can play a small game. And today we're going to play 2 truths and 1
Oh
lie. I
my.
don't know, are you familiar with that game?
We even have a prize.
We'll give you something special at the end.
I'm up to the task.
Yeah, so I'm going to provide 3 statements. You're going to identify which one is the lie, okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. So the first statement is, solar panels can still make power even when it's cloudy. My second statement is, the first solar panel was made in ancient Egypt. And the third one, some solar panels are designed to float on water. Which ones are the truth? Which one is the lie?
So the lie is what?
Yes, only there are 2 facts.
Solar panels, not also, according to me. The first one is true, because solar panels can also provide energy when it's cloudy. So I think I'll go with the second one.
I think we kind of gave you a Kenya on that one.
Let's
Because we discussed it previously.
Oh my, did you?
We did,
Oh.
we did.
I think I remember very well.
Yeah, okay. Okay, maybe let's try.
You'll get me next time.
We'll get you next time. Miriam, can you give him like a few statements? Because I know you have some up your sleeve.
I have none, but I have a game idea. I wanted us to look around the green energy buzzwords. So I need you to tell me some buzzwords in the energy green space that you know of.
Energy space.
Yes.
Fossil fuels.
Mm-hmm.
Oil and gas.
Mm-hmm.
There is wind turbines. And there is sustainability. They say that a lot.
Yeah.
There is renewable energy.
Okay.
Green jobs.
Since you had a session with Pamela, how is it that these questions
Yeah.
are super easy?
You know everything. Okay, let's try a second round of 2 truths and 1 lie, okay? This is the last and final questions I'm going to ask. Okay, so the first one, there's a solar powered plane that can fly for months without stopping. The second one, if you cover your car in solar panels, you'll never need gas again. Some roads are made with solar panels that can light up at night. Which one is the lie and which ones are the truth? Think about it. This one is a tough one.
So solar panels, when you cover your vehicle with solar panels, that's a truth. The first one?
The first one is, there's a solar powered plane that can fly for months without stopping.
And the last one is
The last one is, some roads are made with solar panels that can light up at night.
number 1 is the fox.
Is the lie?
Yeah. I'm sure you can.
You did terribly.
That I knew we'd catch you at some point.
So there's a plane that flies for months.
Yes.
Yeah, without stopping.
According to the Internet of
Yeah.
Things, yes, there's a solar powered plane that can fly for months without stopping.
So there's no road.
It's a plane. It's just flying.
It is. That's also true.
Yeah.
There are some roads
Yes,
that are
it's
made
true.
with solar panels and can light up at
The
night.
second one is
The
It's
lie.
a false one. That if you cover your car in solar panels, you'll
You'll
never need gas again.
but it could be a good innovation.
How?
How? Tell us.
You cannot have solar on your vehicle,
Does that mean you'll never need gas again?
so you need gas.
At night, how are you
Yes.
going to power your vehicle at night?
You save the energy and use it.
Yeah, and unless if you bring in the lithium batteries, that could be correct.
That's it.
Yeah, okay.
It's still a false.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
At
you
least
for.
I felt one.
Yeah, you got two right.
Two right.
And
Yeah, fell one.
the last one we got you. But thank you for
But I also didn't
participating in
know,
our small
so-
game.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So as we wind up the conversation, we've talked about the challenges, we've talked about your view on solar, we've touched a bit on the electric vehicles and the innovations around solar. But I'm also curious to know, what can an average person or even a business do in order to push for clean energy, or contribute rather to the clean energy space? Because as we had discussed, our goal here is to preserve the planet, right?
Yeah.
Yes, to reduce pollution. So we want to know, like, someone out there, what can they do on an individual basis, or even a small business, what can they do to contribute to the bigger picture of clean energy space?
So one is that the green space requires everyone on board, and as we say at the SDGs hub, we say that leave no one behind. So I would think the same should apply when it comes to us looking to achieve the green energy space, and having to also adapt renewable energy sources. It is very interesting when we look at what is happening in the world globally, that everyone is adapting to change. But I think we have more to do. We are not doing enough. And it is an urge to everyone to get involved and to ensure that we get the necessary knowledge. Let's seek knowledge first before we start fighting something. Secondly, it is my urge to all leaders out there, even those who are not in leadership, young people, to be able to advocate for policies that favor green energy, so that we can be able to move into a future that is admirable. Because when you look at our spaces right now, everything is getting polluted. There's climate change. That's why we are seeing rains when they not it's not supposed to be raining.
Every year is different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lack of control for the floods and what have
Yeah.
you. So one thing is let us accept change, and let us also be able to seek knowledge in terms of renewable sources such as solar. The other one is let us start looking into better ways of bringing into our education green jobs. Like you, the two of you in green jobs.
Yes.
Why don't you as a person pull someone, mentor them into getting into these spaces?
Yeah.
By the end of it all, you'll have pulled 5 people, myself, 5 people, we'll have over 20 or 30 people working in these spaces. And that's how we see
And them
change.
also mentoring other people,
Yeah.
creating a whole network.
Yes.
Yeah.
And lastly, change is a collective responsibility. We cannot bring in change when we work alone. So let's work together and let's partner and let's look into the future of green energy.
Wonderful.
This was indeed a great conversation that you were having. And,
Yes, very insightful as well.
Yeah. There's so many things I've also learned personally. You always think you know until you get someone else to the space where you are and realize there's so much more to learn than what you know. So I also believe in the green energy space. It also comes with passion. It's important to have that passion in you, burning, that desire burning inside you for us to be able to advocate. So the change begins with us first, and then we project the same energy to the people that we want to also mentor. So Casimir, this has been a very, very insightful conversation. Thank you very much for, coming to our podcast. This has been amazing. I don't know, Pamela.
I've had a wonderful time, and also as much as we're here to educate, I myself
Yeah.
am getting educated in the
True.
process. Yes, it's been so wonderful having you here. Thank you for making the time to come all the way to our premises to help us also understand more about the green energy space.
This is the 4th episode of the Sunspot podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, being part of this amazing journey. We have definitely had insightful conversation, and we look forward to having another tremendous podcast with you once again. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you very much. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you definitely do not miss out on anything new.